What's the closest to your own death you've ever been? Almost married my ex. Getting into a car accident where we flipped over several times and landed upside. I wasn't wearing my seatbelt, but fortunately I made it out without a scratch. Got a concussion sledding. Got hit by a car going 45 while I was on a bike. Tried to kill myself by crashing a car. Surprisingly, I haven't stayed in a hospital for trauma. I think I'm immortal. I used to drive a smaller pickup truck when I lived in a very rural area. Biggest fear was always getting hit or sideswiped from a big SUV not seeing me. Of course. Living in Florida, we've got a ton of high-speed roads, rolling hills, and tons of areas with absolutely no lights. Driving home one day and had the misfortune of driving on this unlit 2-mile-long stretch of road with blind, rolling hills. Of course. Being 18 at the time and assuming I was the only one on the road. Roughly 2 a.m. I was just cruising, listening to music and not paying too much attention to my surroundings. As I come to the top of a hill, I very quickly snapped back to attention as I see the quick glare of my headlights snapping back off the large chrome bumper of a gravel truck just as it veers oncoming into my lane and rolls into the ditch to my side. No lights on the truck, and I was lucky to notice the truck in time to hit my brakes and pull the wheel to the side. I've had terrible driving anxiety, especially at night, ever since. Worst experience ever. IDK if this counts, but my parents were worried I would die when I was little. I was around 0 to 2 years old. I got really sick, and during that time the food tasted like crap 'cause I was sick. I got meds and eventually I got better too. Then the days after, when I was finally not sick anymore, I would puke every time I tried to eat something. This was something that would continue every day for me. Every time I got food in my mouth I would puke or puke without actually puking. IDK how to describe it. Like when your body tries to puke but nothing comes out. Basically I could not swallow it. And not even have it in my mouth. This was nothing I did. It was all my body. All I could eat was gruel and pasta. And if my body didn't even accept that, I would probably not eat anything and I would probably have died. So I have had a long struggle with food and eating. I remember sitting next to my mom at the dining table, begging me to try and eat the food on my plate. It would literally take hours for me to eat every day. It took a long time for me to stop with gruel, and I had a special drink at school that I would drink every day to give me energy. I worked really hard and today I eat normally. Not sure. 3 scenarios that were pretty close. 1. Being thrown head first in the concrete floor. Woke up at the hospital drugged down and got told I almost died. Massive Donald Duck bump on the back of my head. Felt like a baseball glued there. Big concussion too. 2. Played with a razor knife. Cut my wrist on accident but barely missed anything important. Super lucky. 3. Boat trip to a lighthouse. Spent the night there. Woke up to yelling about a storm. Big waves and crazy wind. 3 boats between boulders and a solid steel pier. 1 boat made it no damages. 2nd boat made it with a hole in it. Was doubled up though so wouldn't sink. And 3rd boat THSTI was gonna be in. Removed ropes. Driver gave full throttle to get away but the steering wire had snapped. So we were stuck between this chaos, moments from being crushed. I didn't think much, so I jumped back, grabbed the throttle wires and steered the boat with that. Got lucky. If I had hesitated I would have looked like a ketchup spot all over the area. Same with some family and friends. Even 2 dogs. soon to be 19 years old, already a little scared of what the next situation will be. I was about to hit a SUV going at approximately 80 miles per hour while running to the other side of the road. It missed by some 3 inches. Funny enough, I have survived a lot of bullshit. But I was run over by an old lady. Ironically, even that wouldn't kill me. I woke up in the middle of the night once, choking on my own saliva. I couldn't breathe and it scared the shit out of me. I was finally able to clear it and breathe again. I thought for sure I was going to die in the most ridiculous way. Now. And that's always the answer. No matter when you're asked. It only starts to get farther away after you die. The time when I was like 1.5 and the doctor poked a nerve in my body somewhere and I straight up died. I then got airlifted to a better hospital. And this didn't happen once but twice. Heavy machinery engine broke off the boom. And I jumped out of the way a second or so before it hit the ground. I would have been blood and bone jelly. As a kid, I was hiking on this super narrow mountain path next to a cliff. And I tripped on a loose rock. Nearly fell into the cliff. But somehow managed to hang on the ledge. First and only time in my life I actually felt close to death. My mom claims that ever since then I hated hiking. If I was really close to death, I don't know. What I do know is that I gave myself a rather colorful cocktail of drugs and kept feeding myself more when I wasn't feeling it. 6 hours later it all hit at once and I really thought I might have been a goner. I woke up my friends who hadn't taken nearly as much as me to rave about colors and tripping. I was actually the only person who didn't vomit that night. So maybe a win. Probably not.